Fire, 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 fire.
Alright, let's watch. What is this? They're forcing the industry to replace this problem demographic with the modern audience. Ah, yes, the white men gamers. They're the problem for sure.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here.
Ew.
So it's here we once again talking
Gross.
about Sweet Baby Inc. It has been a while since we've talked about this consulting firm. However, recently
you're
there's been
kinda dead
some
in the
quotes
water, huh?
shared from its CEO, Kim Belair, that are quite ridiculous, and you'll understand why in just a few minutes. She is talking about one of the biggest challenges when it comes to the gaming industry, and that is, of course, white male gamers. Because that is, of course, the
There's too
focus of
many
someone
of
like
them.
Kim Belair, who is hustling DEI and other things to make a profit. She has to blame someone for all of the woes of the industry, including her own shortcomings. And of course, that target for all of the blame is going to be white male gamers. Now, for those who are not familiar with Sweet Baby Inc., I want to really use
I've
this.
got news for you. There are people who aren't white male gamers, and they're just male gamers that still hate your shit. Yeah, I know, mind blowing.
An opportunity to introduce
Yeah,
to
what
you
about the brown
one of the
male
symptoms of a
gamers?
very troubled
You're
industry.
supposed to love this shit.
Sweet Baby Inc. is a seemingly small group of people. It is a woke consulting firm that has a very large impact, despite the fact only a small number of people work on their team.
Yeah, it's kind
Their
of
entire
crazy.
purpose is to reach out to developers and to convince them that these developers have to work with them. Otherwise,
You have to pay us $10,000 and change it to what we want. Otherwise, we're not going to approve it. And then you're going to be scorned. You'll rue the day you denied us. What a business model, by the way. You pay me money to gain my approval.
they're going to lose out on sales. They might get canceled on social media, what
That's
have you, because
crazy,
Sweet Baby
man.
Inc. comes in and introduces a woke agenda. There's no other way to describe it. They want to push a modern
agenda is having good
They want to
video
focus on the
games.
modern audience, their own very woke
Protection
agenda.
racket. Yeah, it's kinda
and
like
that's
the
what they
mafia.
push onto these companies, and ultimately it hurts them. And it hurts them extra when groups like Sweet Baby Inc. Detected were created. This was a
Oh,
curation
no.
list on Steam created by an individual named Kabrutus that simply looked at the public website of Sweet Baby Inc. and listed all the games they helped create.
They did not
Now
like
that
that
seems like
chat.
something they should be proud of as a company. However, they were very upset because people saw this list provided by Sweet Baby Inc. and said, hey, thanks for letting us know. We're not going to play this.
If I remember correctly, this was probably 2.5 years ago. Didn't they threaten to dox the guy, the Kabrutus guy that made this? It kind of sounds like mafia terms to me. Yeah, like in the mafia, it's like, if you don't pay up, we're gonna find out where you live and we're gonna break your legs.
Game because now we know there's a woke agenda likely in that game. Now, seeing this popular curation list, one of the employees of Sweet Baby Inc., Chris Kindred,
report the
back
group,
in
yeah.
2024, came out with a full-on harassment campaign, not only encouraging people to mass report the curation list, but also to mass report the personal account of Kabrutus, who created the curation group. Now, you can see the client list that was once public on Sweet Baby Inc.'s website. They have a great range of influence in the industry. They have worked with many different companies in the gaming industry and just the entertainment industry generally. And once it became more well-known knowledge about their influence, well, the usual
got their
suspects like
tendrils
Kotaku came
everywhere,
out
shit.
and tried to run defense for Sweet Baby Inc.
And
who
it's all just like a mafia racket, and they all just support each other. Like, I've disagreed with people, even if they're like, if I've agreed with them before, these people stand for them no matter what.
found some new popularity. And that was
They
popular.
ruined Spider-Man. There was a Spanish streamer that got clipped playing the game, and it was them talking. They were listening to, like, I think it was like dialogue or something, and they changed the grammatical structure of Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but anyway, the point is that they changed the actual language used, and it makes no fucking sense if you actually listen to it. El Rubius? Yeah, I think that was his name. And he was like, he like stopped, he put the game on pause and he was like, what the fuck is this? What is this supposed to mean? And it was like this non-binary gender neutral language, but it's like it doesn't make any sense.
They didn't.
This here. Oh yeah. I'll show it. Sure, why not? Oh my god. What is this? Gender neutral Spanish.
Spanish streamer Rubius mutes
We'll just watch the
Spider-Man 2
clip.
after hearing gender neutral Spanish. What?
Lo sé, pero el hombre al mando, Harry Osborn, tiene buena reputación. Y encima ha contratado a mi científica de abejas favorite. Le apidó el
Favorite.
Es le
Yeah, that makes no grammatical sense. If you did the same thing in Russian, it would be weird. It sounds incorrect. I know exactly what this type of feeling is. It just doesn't make any sense.
desorden de colapso de colonias.
Nope.
Nope. Muted. Changing someone's language? I would be so offended. I'd be like, what the fuck?
not want to have. Sweet Baby Ink loved working
At least in Russia, we have
the
gender,
background
neutral
without
gender.
any.
But there is, but if you try and insert it in places where it doesn't belong, I can't think of off the top of my head. I'd have to read it out loud. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
When focusing on them, that was their entire
it doesn't fit.
business model, right? But Kotaku comes out and says Sweet Baby Ink doesn't do what some gamers think it does. They're trying to gaslight you, but over time, people keep looking into this group more and more. The truth is in people's faces, and there's no denying what this group does. In fact, now we can shift focus into the CEO, Kim Belair, who famously once said
Oh my god. How old is this clip?
to many different game studios
You
during
gotta
a
scare
convention,
them.
you should approach the higher ups of your project you're working on and basically terrify them, threaten them with the anger of cancel culture if they don't hire someone like
You gotta
Sweet
scare
Baby
them,
Ink
chat.
to help consult with.
I'm not here to scare anybody with, like, what I think. If you don't like it, then you don't have to watch me. You don't have to change anything.
your project.
I want to
Now we
have
can
a
go
good video
forward to
game,
the
you know?
most recent report coming from Fandom
If
Pulse.
it's
This
good,
came
it's
out
good.
just 2 days ago. So let's read this here. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair describes white male gamers as picky babies.
Okay, then why do you have to change something that's been like this for a long time? Like, why do you have to do that? And it's always about the race, too. White male gamers. What about other male gamers? What about female gamers?
In quotes. I think in our industry and
It's
in so many
weird
creative
and
industries,
sexist
if
and
you want to look
racist.
at film and television and any art form, we start treating our core demographics as a fixed and static value, something that does not want to change and something that is locked in place. So despite the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still
Despite the changing faces of audiences. No, even though they've changed Halo to try and cater to everybody, it's still majority fucking male gamers. What are we talking about? Animal Crossing is a very female-oriented game, but, like, everyone fucking plays it if they want to. Some guys just don't fucking want to play Animal Crossing. That doesn't mean you're gonna change Animal Crossing in what it is in its essence. It's like, let things be something that you make and enjoy, and if it just so happens to be something that is male-oriented or female-oriented, let it fucking be. Yeah, it's a good game first and foremost. Exactly. So if it's something that's just a good game, it doesn't matter what gender is playing it. You're not going to just randomly pivot to Animal Crossing being a fucking shooting game.
look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're
They don't
white,
work on those kinds of
cis,
games. Well, they work
hetero
on them. Oh,
males,
shit, man.
and we
It's
cater
weird.
almost exclusively to them. And the problem is that we don't just cater to them like, you know, here's something that we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them like a picky baby.
But
we
you're
feed them the same thing.
but you're changing something to suit to your taste. So what does that say about you? Like, if I go to a Chinese restaurant and then I say, hey, change your fucking menu, I want a burger, they're gonna look at me and be like, what the fuck? Like, we serve fucking fried rice and noodles here. What? We don't have burger on there. Yeah, we don't have a pizza on there. I'm gonna go to a fucking diner or a pizza place. I don't want Chinese food in my pizza place. Just, like, they're not gonna cater to you.
We know that they love, and we keep
They're gonna
on
look at me
feeding
like I'm
it.
fucking nuts.
We're like, here you go. We know you love it. Eat this. Eat this. So then, when they get anything else, they react as picky babies would, which would be like, oh no, thank you. I do not want this. And we've actually done this so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies.
How hypocritical are you, bro?
And they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to
Make
do,
your own
just in
game.
case these picky babies don't want to play our games. Why do game developers hire someone like this? Is
Because
the
they're
question posed
scared.
by the author here.
Why
Yeah.
do companies change for Pride Month every year to have a rainbow flag for 30 days during June? Because they're scared. They also not scared also, but also they make more money. But the difference is that these people can be catered to on social media. They might go buy a product and make them money. But if a video game sucks, nobody's going to play it because it's going to cost them money. And then people are going to hear about it and be like, ah, damn, I don't want to spend money on this shit.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So basically,
They don't actually care.
in this quote here, Kim Belair, the CEO of this woke consulting firm that has
You're just a
a
wallet
major
to them.
influence on the gaming industry, is saying that the entire industry caters to white male gamers who are picky babies who will riot the second things don't go their way.
I guess I'm a
Now,
white
of
male
course,
gamer,
if you've been
I
paying
suppose.
attention at all the last couple of months, even years, you would know that that is not the case. And the comments to this tweet are all over it, okay? Let's just read a few. So you can see this comic sums it up
This is such an old comic, man. I think I saw it like 5 years ago, and it just like makes me laugh.
perfectly, okay?
Modeled that again. God damn it! What is with my fucking VTube Studio? Sorry.
You have the person selling a thing saying, I have made more of the thing you like.
Yay!
And here's the actual audience, the real customers, excited. But then you have the woke consulting firm, like Sweet Baby, saying, I do not like the thing. You are a bad person if you do not address the fact that I do not like the thing. And that could be Sweet Baby, that could be the modern audience, activists, what have you. But
Well, it could be also. I could even make the analogy like if I catered to every single person that came in here and was like, Alana, you have to change what you say about this thing, I would lose my audience and in turn lose a piece of myself because I'm not being true to myself. Just because I'm catering to your fucking stupid, oh, this you can't like this thing. Yeah, like why?
the person selling the thing
I don't give a
listens to
fuck.
the wrong person. They listen to the Sweet Babies. They listen to the activists, and they say,
sweet babies.
I have made changes to the thing. And the actual
don't
audience, the
want
real
it.
customers, the gamers,
The people
in
who
this
buy
case
the
say,
game.
that's no longer the thing we wanted. We're going to look for something else. And then the seller turns around and says, would you buy the thing, modern
No.
audience?
No.
And then the modern audience
That honestly is why people gatekeep and call people tourists and shit.
says, I never had any interest in the thing.
Yeah.
Many, many such cases. We can look at stuff like Starfleet Academy that we recently talked about. We can talk about many
of
different
Warcraft.
examples of franchises, even very well established ones, focusing on the modern audience and listening to the woke consulting firms, listening to activists, and turning around and saying, hey, we did all these things for this modern audience. Are you guys going to buy it? They never do. So here's an example of modern media. I would like some Mountain Dew. Ah, here's some Mountain Dew. filled with piss.
Yeah!
And then the customer says, that's not what I asked for.
I want
And then
Mountain
they respond
Dew.
saying, dang, these
Although,
toxic
to be fair, Mountain Dew is piss. I don't like Mountain Dew.
fans.
The only thing I like is
Many
Baja
such
Blast.
cases.
That's it.
Here's another reply saying, so despite the changing face of audiences, you mean the tiny modern audience? And we cater almost exclusively to them. That is a lie. For the past 10 years, they've done nothing but try to push white men out and replace them with everyone else. That's no surprise. Their games aren't selling. I mean, how many times have you seen game developers, community managers, what have you, come out and...
They don't even make a good product. Like, Axe Voto. There is a lesbian relationship, for example, in Baldur's Gate 3, but because the game is so awesome and so fun and so successful, nobody fucking made an outrage over it. That's why I never, like, understood the argument when people say, like, oh, well, if I put a gay person in my game, nobody's gonna buy it. Literally, one of the main characters in the main storyline for the first fucking half of the game is in a lesbian relationship with a goddess or something. Nobody fucking bats an eye. Nobody gives a fuck. They just played the game.
Say directly, we don't want white gamers, we don't want male gamers, we don't want white male gamers, something of that variety. It is completely normalized. They feel emboldened. They feel like there's no consequences for saying this stuff, and we've seen it happen over and over again. If it hasn't been an eye-opening experience for you the last couple of years on social media with how a lot of the industry, whether it's journalists, developers, what have you, feel about gamers in general, and if you want to get specific, male gamers, white gamers, if it's not obvious how they feel about you yet, I don't know what else could happen at this point. Here's another reply saying, except we are not babies. In most cases, the people buying these games are grown adults with autonomy. You don't get to decide what we eat. You're not in charge of what we choose.
No, but
it's
they
our
treat you like
choice, and
children,
many
too.
choose to stay away from companies that think in the way she's describing. That's the whole point of Sweet Baby Ink Detected, which is now evolved into DEI Detected. People don't want to engage with products and companies where the people creating it, or at least a number of the people creating it...
This is also another thing. Chat was saying, I modded it out, or I modded it. That's within your right to do that. People modded, I think there was a mod out there that made, I think it was Geralt into a black man as opposed to a white man. I have no issue with that at all. If you want to fucking do that, why not? Like, it's a fucking mod. It's not hurting anybody. If you want to do that, who gives a fuck, right? But then these people will be like, oh, well, you can't fucking do that. You can't mod out a lesbian relationship out of my game. What do you mean? It's a game you buy. You just do whatever the fuck you want to do with the game. Yeah, and then they ban that mod, but then they won't ban the mod that race swaps Geralt. It's like, at the end of the day, it's fucking equal.
Hate you.
Who cares?
They just hate you for what you are.
Yeah, Nexus mod's gonna fucking ban
characteristics
that shit,
you're born with. They hate you for it.
Remember that?
Why
with
would you ever
Captain
want to
America?
support these companies? I really... How does that register to anyone? Why would you ever want to support people who hate you for who you are? Makes no sense. And then they have the audacity to wag their finger in your face and tell you you're a bad person, or in this case, you're a picky baby because you're noticing these things happening, or you have an issue, or at the very least you say, yeah, I'm not interested.
And
It's
they
insane.
call you a homophobe.
Here's another reply saying,
Shit like that.
the reason she and people like her fail is that A, cis hetero males are the most profitable audience when it comes to video games. B, their ideas lack
So
entertainment.
then, so when they don't cater to that audience, then they wonder why their game fails and flops.
Value and appeal to unprofitable audiences. C, they think they can force people to accept and support their entertainment through mass saturation and guilt tactics. D, the only times they can manage some semblance of success is when they ride the coattails of popular brands, and those brands then
Or they
quickly
shit it
lose
up,
appeal
yeah.
and profit by alienating cis
Saw it with Star Trek, man.
hetero males. Now that's the scary part about Sweet Baby Inc. and all of this stuff. I mean, the companies they're working with are businesses. Okay, yes, they produce video games, but they are businesses. They have to make a profit, and a lot of them are greedy. Okay, they will do anything to make the most profit imaginable. And yet they keep working with the sweet babies of the world. They keep listening to this garbage that is proving over and over again
It's a
to not
mafia.
work.
It's a racket.
In fact, it's not that it doesn't generate more profit. It almost certainly loses you profit, especially if it's discovered that you're working with a Sweet Baby Inc. And in this case, with Sweet Baby, some companies have taken a step back away. They don't publicly mention that they're working with Sweet Baby, but they still are. They are smart
Square
enough to
Enix
understand
is
that if the
working with
public
them
discovers this connection, it's going to hurt them. But they still
I
get.
wonder when Final Fantasy 14, when did they hire Sweet Baby Inc? Because I don't know, man. Dawn Trail has been a yawn trail for sure. 2021. Yeah, maybe there's a link. I don't know. I'm just obviously spitting fucking like ideas, but it could be possible.
Work. Sweet Baby still gets work, and that is the disturbing part. Again, it just makes no sense from a business perspective that they would just keep driving themselves into the ground by working with a company like this. And here's one last little one here. Our games aren't made for you straight males.
Okay.
Don't like them, don't
That's
play
fine.
them. Okay. How dare you not play our games? Many such cases that sort of alienating that we see over and over again with these companies.
I like it.
It just keeps happening. But yeah, that is basically the update with Sweet Baby Inc., who remains private on social media.
They are going to be private
and
for a long
anyone
time.
who is not seen through a
Indefinitely.
company like this is just wearing blinders, or they have some agenda to push. But I just wanted to share that update. The latest quotes from the CEO blaming the picky babies, aka the white male gamers, who apparently have the whole industry at their feet, catering to them constantly, despite the fact that your observations of the last couple of years would tell you otherwise. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Oh my god. It never ends, bro. It never ends. Clappies in the chat. Thank you, Rick, for that video. Anyway, fucking Sweet Baby Inc., bro. I still cannot believe the amount of fuss and crying that they did 2 years ago, and they're still at it. They still just won't shut the fuck up. How are people still paying them? That's what I want to know. In Final Fantasy XIV's case, it was activist localizers that were the biggest issue. Thankfully, they were shown the door last year. Holy shit. And they hired them before Yawn Trail, right? Yeah, I've heard nothing but bad things about the actual story writing in Dawn Trail. It's horrible. Even the most diehard Final Fantasy fans that go to the con, there's a Final Fantasy con or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, but I saw some guy that was like, I'm a diehard Final Fantasy fan. I've been doing it since fucking 2016. Yeah. The fan fest, yeah, and they were like, man, the game is just not what it used to be. It bums me out, and I was like, damn, sounds like something I've experienced. Remind you that Ubisoft CEO's journalist scores unironically, of course. Do you even play video games? Nope. Never played a video game once in my life, ever. Anyway, go check out Rev Says Desu.
Fire, fire,